So, Jim, tell me, what was it like back in the 80s, but also you started coaching in 68 and you wrapped it up in 91. What was it like back then with basketball and how high school was then?
Well, I think it was a good time. I think there's still good basketball. Pro ball, I don't care to watch. College and high school, I do. And the game has changed tremendously. I think the three-point shot is what really changed it, taking the big man out of the game. And I don't know if I like it or not. I loved it when I coached. And I still love to watch high school ball.
What was it like coaching Uwe Blau from Germany and then Mitch Arnold and the big guys back in the 80s?
Well, coaching Uwe, when he got here, he was not a good ball player. Fundamentally, we couldn't even run drills with him. We put him at the side of the gym, and we had drills with a manager and him. And Uwe learned a lot. But he developed into a good ball player. And Mitch was a fantastic player. He's probably one of the best ball players I ever coached. I'd say he was. And he was quite a competitor because he always has these big games against big teams. But I had a lot of good players, and I don't want to limit it only to Uwe and Mitch because fundamentally Uwe wasn't one of the best players. I had a lot of players better fundamentally, but you can't coach height. And 7'1", 7'2" is hard to coach. I mean, you can't coach a 6-foot guy to be 7'2", and I think his game in high school, he improved tremendously. And I think him going to Indiana with Coach Knight helped him more than anything. And I remember when he had appendicitis at Indiana, Coach Knight called me and wanted me to come over, and I did. Went over, and they operated on him. He was back pretty quick. And he came from a different background than what ours. Our kids are used to competing a little tougher. And we had a lot of good players. A lot of good players are here today. And I'm thrilled to see them. But you know, everybody, I don't know, it's hard to pick out the best player. But I'm writing a book, and hopefully every player's not going to be listed in it. But a little bit about the way we did things. And I had a lot of good assistant coaches that helped develop my players. And you got to give them a lot of credit. And we did things a little different than most schools. We run the fast break different, which is different. And we would score a lot of times, and the ball would never touch the floor. I didn't like dribbling. And we would have practices where if you bounced the ball on the floor, the whole team had to run a killer. Killer wasn't really a killer. That's a bad word. But sprints. But I think that made us a little different than most schools because we didn't always have the best players. We had the best team, and that means a lot. It has to be in the state championship. I mean, they beat us, and
I would prefer to wait for about 7 days until I get my.
Uwe ended up fouling out, and then Russell Cross ended up having free range because he's so much bigger than anybody else we had. And then Mitch had to guard him, and that really hurt us. And whether they're the best team we ever played, I don't know, but they were very, very good. And my goal was to win the last game I ever played or coached. And I think that's every coach's goal, is to win the last game. And if you did, you won the state championship. I know some people don't understand that. But my family, gave a lot to the coaching. My son Brad and my daughter Shelley and my wife Barbara and now I have Marilyn. Barb passed on, but I have Marilyn now, and that was the best thing that's happened since my wife died. And I hear from a lot of ex-players. I coached at Clay City for 6 years, had a lot of success there, and they don't even have basketball again. I played at Windsor, and they don't have basketball now. They all co-op with someone else. But I was at Clay City. I had kids that came from Wendell Inn, which was 15 miles away, and we had early practice at 7 o'clock. Well, I would let them drive my car home so they could drive it back the next day. And I never worried about it. But today I would never let my players drive my car home. They'd probably go out and have a ball at night. There were a lot of good teams. I hate to mention one. I mean, the state championship, definitely. But we played a lot of good teams. We played Vashon out of St. Louis. We played East St. Louis. We played a couple of schools out of Chicago. We played Carl Sandburg. And all of these schools were better, and it made us better. I mean, we wouldn't have been there if we had played a lot of the small schools. And I think that made us better. And we made it to the Sweet 16 numerous times, and we made it to the Elite 8 3 times. And at Clay City, we won a regional tournament, which has never been done. It won't ever be done again because Clay City doesn't have basketball. I mean, but I still hear from a lot of people from Clay City, and these are all things that I remember. And what's the best player I ever had? I'd have to say it's got to be Mitch Arnold. But I had a lot of great players. A lot of kids went to college, got scholarships. But he was a great competitor, and he always played the best against good teams.
The best player that you coached against?
That's a hard question, because I've retired 30 years ago, or more than that. But I think one that I remember, you remember Jeff Carling at Centralia? They had a great team, and we played them in the Salem tournament. And they had 2 young guards, I don't remember their names, but they were really great kids. And we beat them 2 times. We beat them in the finals of the regional, beat them in the Salem tournament. And those were huge games. There's a lot of good players from Teotopoulos and from here. I don't know. I can't think of some name of some of them. I guess coached. We were a fast break team most of the time, and most fast break teams would take the ball out and back to the middle. And that's the way they run their fast break. Well, we run ours different. We cleared the ball out, and we passed it up the side of the floor, then to the middle, and then the other cut. And we scored a lot of points by doing that, and the ball never touched the floor. And I really like to watch some of the games that we played back then on video. I still have copies of them. And of course, the 3-point shot has changed the game. It's taken the big men out of the game. Used to, the ball would always go in the middle and then go back outside. And it has to do that now because of the 3-point shot. But Uwe was one of the good players, big men. But I had a boy at Effingham that we won a lot of games because we fed him the ball. His name was Rick Harrison. And he dominated the middle. And the ball, we just put the ball in there. And we had a lot of good ball players here that knew all the pivot moves. I mean, we taught those things. And today, I think they've taken the game, and I can't say as I like it as well, but everybody likes college ball. But three-point shooting changed the game, and I think it's changed the game, and maybe it's better. I don't know. I guess everybody thinks so. But I liked the 2-point. There was more offense run then. Weaving screens on the outside and open up for a drive for the basket. But they're all looking for the three-point shot. If you don't have it, you're not going to win.
What's it mean to you to be back in Effingham, but also seeing some of your former players that you coached?
Oh, this has been a great day. I just love all these guys, and I hear from a lot of them. You hate to pick out one or two players and say something, but everybody that showed up here I just loved to talk to them. And some fans showed up, and I still hear from a lot of players, and that's the good thing about cell phones. But my sister's still here, Nancy, and my brother is still here, Bill, and I came up to see them, and Tim Weiss got this started, and you got to thank him. This has been a great day for me. I mean, I talked to everybody, and I love Effingham. I always did.
The advice you would give younger coaches to the point where they can start kind of figuring out how to put a team together for a starting five?
Well, number one, you start teaching fundamentals. And that has to go in the grade school. And Earl Mesdard and Lynn Temple were the grade school coaches here, and they both had kids start well. And I had some very good assistant coaches, and they always fundamentally, and to play a team and play to win. And you always wanted to give your kids a chance to win. I mean, if you were playing a team a lot better than you, we'd hold the ball on them. And we won some games. We did that against Carbondale. We've done that against Taylorville when they had better players than us. I wanted to give my players a chance to win. So we would do something else. We'd play a box and one or just screwy defense or something to try to upset them. And our fast break up the side of the floor was probably one of the biggest differences of our team and other teams we played. But I had a lot of good kids, I had a lot of good assistant coaches, and that's the reason that I won the games that we did. Right now, I've lost my wife to cancer, which was terrible, and I have found another lady named Marilyn, and she is my heart and soul right now. And I live in Naples. I play golf. I'm a little older. I'm not as good a golfer as I used to be, but that's what I do now. When I sold my business, my wife said, "You're going to go crazy," because I was a workaholic. And now I'm a golfaholic. But I'm 87 years old now, and I'm losing a lot of my golf. I had an 84 the other day, and that was a great round for me. But I won a few tournaments in my day, and I got some good friends that are golfers. And it's very hot in Florida, and for an old man, it's tough.
Jim, it's great to see you, great to meet you. It's an honor to speak with you, a legendary coach like yourself. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for letting me talk to you and explain a few things.